Yeah, it feels very vulnerable. It feels very vulnerable. You're putting yourself out there, you're putting your vision out there, and you're asking people to be generous with their money and their and that does feel very vulnerable. The start of Stones was something that came from a real experience in 2021, being in Cardiff Bay and then strolling past this play park and seeing it full of all these families that had arrived from the other side of the world. And and then what stayed with me was the community response afterwards, people reaching out to try and help in any way they can. And then really what stayed with me was the connection between strangers and seeing these small acts of kindness, whether it was kids playing, people sharing something. And it really resonated with me to see a human connection, seeing people from other sides of the world connect in this way to try to help one another. And then being an actor, I'm always really interested in character. So then that specifically became the story I wanted to tell through this Welsh grandmother, Anwen, and her granddaughter, and it follows her meeting this Afghan family, and through that, hopefully, the film then explores themes of grief and connection and community, and it was just that experience was just something that really stayed with me. I became really interested in I feel like I'm really interested in characters and the complexity of characters. And we're always told, I think sometimes we're often encouraged to see people for in very plain terms. And a lot of the time people aren't. And it's that intersection that always really interests me. And then this allowed me to the way I'm telling this story hopefully allows me to kind of discover that space in between and and then pushes hopefully viewers and the audience to be a bit more curious
Mm.
about people and be perhaps a little less sure of their assumptions.
Mm.
That's what I'd love to be able to do. I first had the idea of the short film after the experience, and then I didn't pen it till probably 2 years afterwards, so probably 2023, and it's probably gone through. I think I must be at 10, 12 drafts of the film by now and different iterations of it, having it scaled up to then bringing it back to something that's much more achievable. And there's some complexities around the film with children and and there's quite a few essays, a few extras. So we've kind of had to look at how I can make this with the budget that I've got. But I feel like we're there now. But um, I feel like I've got a great team together, and I feel like so many times when I've been on sets where perhaps the experience hasn't been so great is because I feel like sometimes somebody's not trusting somebody else in their department. So I feel like I've got an amazing team together for this, where the DOP, the producer, the costume, the art department, the grip, the gaffer, everybody really knows what they're doing, and prep is my friend on this. So I'm gonna be drilling just lots of prep to kind of get everybody on the same page, and I'm hoping me having the right amount of the right people and trusting them in their roles will help try and run this set
Mm.
as smooth as it can be. I'm hoping that uh, there'll be an observational style about this, that we can find ourselves as an audience going with the characters and being with them and observing them. That's my real hope. So I'm hoping in all of the filmmaking that I'm the inspirations that I've had and the style that I want to make it, that will hopefully help audiences then connect with these characters. That's my aim. I really feel like Wales is such a welcoming nation, and it's amazing. It's an amazing place with amazing people. So I'm no, I've kind of tapped into that, and that's definitely influenced how I've written the film and how I intend to make it. We've got it down to being a 4-day shoot, at the moment, and the aim is if all the financing goes okay, then the aim would be to shoot in early autumn of this year, and then hopefully have a festival run next year if we're lucky enough. It feels like a bit of a natural progression as a storyteller when you're an actor to want to tell a whole story, which is what this endeavor is really. This my first short film will be an opportunity to tell the story from start to finish. It feels very vulnerable. It feels very vulnerable. You're putting yourself out there. You're putting your vision out there, and you're asking people to be generous with their money and their and that does feel very vulnerable. But I also feel like it's a really lovely story that I'm trying to tell, and hopefully the themes of the story connects with people, and the tone and the style of how I wish to make it connects with people, that they might be kind enough to and be in a position enough to maybe donate anything really. I think as storytellers, storytelling it's such a great way to connect people. And if somebody watches Stones and is perhaps a little bit more curious to in their approach to getting to know strangers, and maybe a little less sure of their assumptions of strangers, and can maybe have a bit more compassion and empathy, then I'd be very happy.